You, Dr. Rayleigh.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Winfrey, and I do want to thank you and Mr. Christie and the board for this opportunity to serve as your county administrator, and thanking the both of you for stepping forward to serve in a leadership role in a time in our society when folks are not necessarily stepping forward. You have answered the call and have served our community extremely well. I'm just grateful for the both of you and what you have done over the course of the past year to lead this board and to provide guidance for me as your new county administrator. I'm just very grateful for that. So board members, given that this is our first meeting of the new calendar year and it is our reorganization meeting, we're going to start off today with selecting your chair and vice chair for the calendar year of 2026. We'll start with our chair. And so board members, I'll welcome any nominations that you have for your chairman for 2026.
Mr. Rayleigh, I move that Jonathan Christie be chair of the Goochland County Board of Supervisors.
Second.
Okay. We have a nomination for Mr. Christie that has been moved and seconded. Do we have any other nominations for chairman for this calendar year? Okay, so hearing no other nominations, we do have a motion and a second, so we'll do a roll call vote. We'll start with Mr. Lyle.
Yay.
Then we'll go to Mr. Winfrey
Yes.
and Mr. Spoonhauer,
Yes.
Mr. Vaughters.
Yes.
And Mr. Christie.
Yes.
Yeah, congratulations, Mr. Christie.
Congratulations.
So board members, I'll also welcome nominations for vice chair for 2026. Do we have any nominations for this position?
Mr. Chairman, I would nominate Neil Spoonhour for vice chair.
We have one nomination. Do we have any other nominations?
Second.
Take a motion
Second.
from Mr. Lyle and a second from Mr. Winfrey. So hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. We'll start with Mr. Lyle.
Yay.
Okay, Mr. Winfrey,
Yes.
Mr. Vaughters,
Yes.
go to Mr. Christie,
Yes.
and Mr. Spoonhour.
Yes.
Okay, congratulations, Mr. Spoonhour.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Chair. You're doing a good job.
All right, so we have a chair and a vice chair, and board members, we need to formally approve a resolution electing your officers for the new calendar year. So board members, do we have a motion and a second for this resolution?
Mr. Rayleigh, I move that we approve the resolution electing Jonathan Christie as 2026 chair and Neil Spoonhour as 2026 vice chair of the Goochland County Board of Supervisors.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Lyle?
Yay.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Spoonhour?
Yes.
Mr. Vaughters?
Yes.
And Mr. Christie?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Mr. Christie, I'll turn this gavel back over to you.
All right.
There you go.
We're at chair.
We have Tara.
All right. I'll turn it over to Tara McGee for the resolution adopting the Code of Ethics.
Thank you, Chairman Christie, and congratulations to both you and Vice Chair Mr. Spoonhour, as well as our gratitude to you and Mr. Winfrey for serving so ably this past year. I have to present before you three different things that are a part of your annual meeting, have been for many years. The first of which is the consideration and a resolution adopting the Board of Supervisors 2026 Code of Ethics and Standards of Conduct. The Goochland County Board of Supervisors has had a document like this for the past many years, over a decade, and I have provided for you and in the packet a black-lined versions of changes that were essentially proposed by me. In Standard of Conduct number 4, it was always written about how all board members should be on an email that was sent to more than one, but realistically, that's not supported by Freedom of Information Act law. There is a recognition that it is potential if you are all in a group email and responding promptly, it could be considered a meeting. And so I have proposed language to acknowledge that the Freedom of Information Act does not encourage you to do that, but to say, simply suggest that there are times when you may want to make each of your board members aware of something, but not through a joint message. Standard of conduct number 5 has been added, is all new, and it just talks about the flow of information and communications, encouraging you all to advise your colleagues when there's things that you might be releasing publicly that they may be unaware of. And that's just something that I think is indicative of what you already expect of one another, but simply putting it in this document that shares those expectations. I also had looked at the process, the procedure that is at the end of this document. It's a procedure that was adopted since I started in 2017. I think it was the subject of the 2018 or 2019, excuse me, amendments. And I began to compare it against other codes of ethics. As I was looking at yours, I began to look at others of it, like a dozen different localities. And what I found was we alone had a process like this that made challenges to your ethics or your standards of conduct be something initiated by a citizen. Instead, I found that other codes of ethics either say nothing about some enforcement of it, or they contain language similar to what I have proposed, which is this is an aspirational document that each one of you commits to when we do this, when you accept a place on the board and then sit here today and agree to be abide by the ethics and conditions. In the years since we have had that complaint process, I have been engaged in any time it was ever selected, and largely, in fact, overwhelmingly, things were brought up as ethical complaints against the board that were really disagreements with how a board member acted, voted, or a comment made. And there's a lot of resources and time to go into that. That isn't really the appropriate place for this type of action. So in conjunction with my starting back in October to review what is in other things and then to bring it before you, it is my proposal that the procedure clarify that these documents are how you choose to hold yourselves and how you hold yourselves accountable. And that's an amendment that I propose for your adoption today.
All right, thank you, Ms. McGee. Board members, do I have a motion to adopt?
Mr. Chair, I move that the board approve the resolution adopting the 2026 Board of Supervisors Code of Ethics and Standards of Conduct as presented. Okay.
Second.
All right, so Mr. Raley, or Dr. Raley, can you call a roll call?
Happy to. Mr. Lyle?
Yay.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Spoonhour?
Yes.
Mr. Vaughters?
Yes.
And Mr. Christie?
Yes.
Next on the agenda, if I may, is a similar resolution adopting a 2026 Code of Ethics and Standard of Conduct. This is for county appointees, for the people that this body appoints to the BZA, the Planning Commission, the Parks and Rec Advisory Council. It was in 2021 that the board realized that there's a Code of Ethics in the county employee manual and that you all had one, but that there was this other group of people who truly represent Goochland County who didn't have this guidance to make sure that they were looking at their own behaviors and what was expected of them. And so you've adopted it, the board members have adopted it every year. I have revised it to comport with the procedural change that I put into your document, which is there's similar language to say they should hold themselves accountable and that also a chairman of this body or could be involved in holding them accountable. But it is done to comport with the change you just made to your Code of Ethics and Standards of Conduct.
Board, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the board adopt the resolution adopting the 2026 Code of Ethics Standards of Conduct for county appointees.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Dr. Raley, can you take the roll call vote?
Mr. Lyle?
Yay.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Spoonhour?
Yes.
Mr. Vaughters?
Yes.
Mr. Christie?
Yes.
And my final procedural document for the board this annual meeting is your rules of procedure. Again, a document that's been long adopted and gets amended every year. There are only two proposed changes, both from me. One is a little clarification of the language in FOIA. Freedom of Information Act had changed the language in the past couple of years, and this is just bringing your language into compliance with it as to when you can have virtual or electronic participation. And then with respect to the public hearing section, I didn't find the language as clear as it could be with respect to whether the order of presentation can be changed or not. And I wanted to make it clear that it could be changed in circumstances that the board found that it wanted to. So with those two minor changes, I provide it to you for your consideration today.
Thank you, Ms. McGee. Board, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the board approve the resolution adopting the 2026 Board of Supervisors Rules of Procedure as presented.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Yes. Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to take a second to point out, this is something we do every year. And this would be something that would be very easy to just rubber stamp and put out there. Hey, our county attorney could just say, we're just going to adopt the same thing we do every year, but we don't do that. And I think this is a great example of how we continue to move forward and to iterate to great. So I want to thank the county attorney for that, and thank the leadership that we are continuing to look at this and always striving to be better.
All right. Any other discussion? All right. Seeing none, Dr. Rayleigh?
Mr. Lyle?
Yay.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Spoonhour?
Yes.
Mr. Vaughters?
Yes.
Mr. Christie?
Yes. All right.
Board members, the last item under your reorganization is the establishment of your 2026 meeting calendar. You have those dates and times in your packet just for the benefit of the public. Pending approval by the board, you'll see some times where we're having more evening meetings than we maybe have had in the past, and that's going to allow greater opportunities for our public to attend those meetings in the future. All the meetings, regular meetings, are on Tuesdays with the exception of Wednesday, November 4th, which is the day after the upcoming election. Seeking your approval of this today, board members.
Mr. Chair, I move that the board adopt the resolution. Mr. Chair, I move that the board adopt the resolution establishing the Board of Supervisors 2026 meeting schedule as presented.
Second.
All right. Got a motion and a second. So that is a voice vote. All board members in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that was everybody, right?
Yeah.
All right, so the motion passes. Next is the consent agenda.
We have chairman's comments.
Oh, right, sorry. I retract that statement. Next is chairman's comments. First I want to say thank you to my fellow board members for trusting me and in this position of leadership. I pray that I maintain trust throughout the county for my performance here. And thank you to the county. I'm not as long-winded as Mr. Winfrey here, so I'm going to
That hurt.
keep it.
And was true.
I'm going to keep it short like myself, and Happy New Year, everyone. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Rayleigh for his entry plan closeout.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman, do we need to approve the minutes?
Oh,
It's not here yet.
Well, then I am out of order.
Mr. Christie and board members, thank you for the opportunity to spend a few minutes sharing some of the work that our team has been doing over the course of the past 6 months. This Friday, I'll be celebrating my seventh month anniversary, and time flies when you're having fun. And so again, just grateful for the opportunity to serve alongside you and serve our community. I'm really proud of the work that we have done together as a team over the course of the past nearly 7 months. And my goal for today is to share some information about where we have been and potentially think about how that can set the tone for where we go in the future. Over the course of the past 7 months, I've been spending a lot of time getting to know our community and getting to ask questions and have the opportunity to meet folks that I never had the chance to meet with before, see parts of our community that I've never been able to view. And Mr. Lyle took me in places I didn't know exist in Goochland and saw some beautiful things when I was in the car with Mr. Spoonhauer. And so that's just the tip of the iceberg of the things that I've been able to learn by asking questions and learning all the great things about our community. I've had the pleasure of having over 190 meetings with our community, business leaders, citizens, clergy, men and women, Board of Supervisors members, staff from the schools, like a variety of folks from a variety of backgrounds have really informed the work that we have done over the course of the past several months and will serve as the foundation for the work that ultimately we do in the future. Ultimately, through this listening opportunity, has really set the stage for how we can together work for continued success for our community. I have really learned a tremendous amount about this exceptional team, many of whom are sitting behind me right now, and the tremendous dedication and commitment that this team has to true service in our community, employees who are dedicated to what they do and are experts in their field. And ultimately, over the course of the past several months, there have been many successes as a result of this team, specifically the work of our fire rescue team and what they have done to be one of only 20 EMS providers in this state who are providing a whole blood program. And if you think nationwide of all the fire rescue EMS providers nationally, there are only 280. And Goochland is one of 280. So kudos to our team for that leadership that is providing that life-saving service to our community. Sarah Worley had the chance to share some of the successes of our community development team at a presentation in December. And so they've been really working hard at strengthening the review processes, focusing on customer service, restoring predictable timelines for businesses and residents. You know, when we started our work together in June of 2025, there were 109 outstanding plan reviews, 109 plan reviews that had not yet been reviewed to go through the process. Board members, we are now down to 15. That backlog has reduced significantly, and so a huge shout out to our community development team who has taken this task seriously and has worked extremely hard to review its processes and prioritize the needs of our community to have a more efficient process. From a general services standpoint, shout out to Scott Foster and his team and everybody who has been working to make sure that Station 8 is going to be ready to go to come out of the ground in the spring of the year, and we're poised and ready to make some recommendations for the courthouse. And then ultimately, as Mr. Winfrey said, a lot of the successes that we have achieved as a result of our work with economic development and the strong successes of that team. The work of our team have been certainly driven by core principles that we have been developing together as a team, and that has been a focus first on listening, and then ultimately making sure that we are communicating clearly, and then tearing down silos so that we are not just operating as one team here and one team here. We are working together as one, and that collaboration has built a shared understanding, and then we have been committed to follow through, not just talking about something, but doing something and making sure that we are returning to our citizens with the information that they need. And you can see the reference here on this slide to one of our stakeholders who has celebrated the work of that team, and this is one of many successes based on the experiences that we have had together as a group in the last several months. So during my conversations with citizens, business partners, and stakeholders, there have been some other themes that have risen to the top that have been common no matter whom I have talked to, and that is a strong sense of community and a pride in being a Goochland resident. Again, recognition of employees who are dedicated to their craft, and then residents who want to be a part of the work that we're doing here in Goochland. We have a strong and engaged community and a citizenry that cares about county government, and our residents want continued opportunities to be engaged. And then our partners, be it business partners regionally or here in Goochland, who want additional opportunities to collaborate in structuring those opportunities. And then stakeholders that I talk to want intentional preparation for growth. You know, what are we going to do in the future to make sure that we're poised and ready for what is next for Goochland County? Those shared priorities include continued strengthening of our customer service and responsiveness to the work we do in service to our community, deepening our business engagement, making sure that internally we are aligned and we are doing our work with a strategic focus and preparing for intentional growth, and then ultimately sustaining a values-driven workforce culture. All the conversations that I've had internally and externally really have laid the foundation for the work over the course of the past 6 months, but ultimately and more importantly, where do we go forward in the next 12 months. And so these are potential opportunities as we move forward in partnership with the board and our community to develop a continued plan where we ultimately have ongoing engagement with our citizens and formalizing some of those opportunities in the future. One of the things that I am very interested in is establishing a community engagement committee to serve as a two-way channel and a vehicle for me to be able to share some information more widely with our community and hear the issues that are impacting our community. Vern Fleming is sitting behind me, and this is one of the things that Vern shared with me early in my tenure as county administrator, and I've always welcomed Vern's perspective, and so that is certainly something that's going to be very healthy to us as we continue to engage with our community. I'm interested with Nora Amos and our community development team and our economic development team to strengthen our courthouse and to really be purposeful in bringing business and development to our courthouse area, and then ultimately getting started with a strategic planning process that will kick off actually this Friday with some work that we're going to do internally as a team. And as we continue to look forward to the next 12 months, opportunities to continue to strengthen a strong Goochland team with making sure that we're focused on goals, clear expectations, and communication. In the next couple months, we're developing a budget that's going to set the tone for the next 12 months and 18 months of our work. And so ultimately making sure that that budget is aligned with our priorities, our community's needs, and making sure that we're focused on our capital and our talent. And then one of the things that I'm eager to introduce to the board in the next 6 months is a public-facing dashboard that's going to allow us to share transparently with our community key performance indicators and data that's really critical to the operations. And then the last thing that we want to accomplish in the next 12 months is really building in some processes. I've learned that a growth opportunity for us is really strengthening our standard operating processes, and we have opportunities to avoid some single points of failure. We have a lot of situations where we have folks who are subject matter experts, but some continued cross-training is going to strengthen us in the future. And then as we look beyond the next 12 months, some potential opportunities for us as we think forward is making sure that we continue to align our staffing and budgeting needs together, aligned with a strategic plan, looking at where we want to go with our compensation goals for our workforce. As we shared on 12/19, there are a lot of capital projects that we need to work through together. And then ultimately, as Mr. Winfrey said, looking forward to how we interact with our regional partners and the relationship that we have with our neighbors and the role that Goochland plays from a regional standpoint. And that, as I referenced too, making sure that standard operating procedures are a part of what we do. It becomes the culture of how we operate, and making sure that we have those backups and systems in place if we ever have a transition. Beyond that, I do believe strongly that we are and can continue to be a model of transparent, community-driven governance, and making sure that we do that through a model of ongoing communication with our community and have a culture in our organization that's rooted in our core values, and then ultimately preserve Goochland's strong identity while at the same time supporting the infrastructure and the economic opportunity we need to make sure that we grow in a balanced and intentional way. So board members, I'm really grateful again for the opportunity. I'm proud of what we together have accomplished with our community in the past several months, and so eager to get on our running shoes, and here we go. New year, new work, an opportunity to do great things for our community. And so I just wanted to take a moment to reflect on the past couple months together with you. I did memorialize that in a report to you that's at your spots and at the back, and we'll also post that online for our community to have as well. But happy to answer any questions that you may have regarding our team's work over the course of the past several months.
Thank you, Dr. Raley. Board members, any questions, comments?
Mr. Chairman, I would, Dr. Raley, simply express my appreciation for your communication efforts. I believe I have heard from the county administrator more in your first 6 months than I was anticipating, and it's been very welcomed. Your responsiveness is appreciated. I don't always get the answer I want, but I always get an answer, and that is highly, highly appreciated.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
I would encourage you to let us, my colleagues and myself, know what we can be doing to make your job easier. We appreciate that when I call you at 6:30 in the morning, you're already in the office. And when I call at 7 o'clock at night, you're just now starting to go home. So please don't forget, family is the fiber that binds us together. And I don't need to admonish you that you put family first, but Goochland is your family, so you read into that what you want. So
Yes, sir.
thank you very much for what you've been doing. Please let us know how we can be helpful as you execute on this plan. So thanks very much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
I just want to say kudos to you and the staff. Great job. I think the challenge for us board members is to keep up. We're on this train, it's moving fast.
We do this work together.
Mr. Chair, thank you. I just want to highlight that 190 meetings data point that you presented. I think that's critical. You also stressed stakeholders, and I think that's a concept that gets lost very often, is there are stakeholders on both sides of all of these key issues that we're addressing. And Dr. Raley, one thing he has done in his first 6 months is shown a drive and an energy to do that. So he's informed, so he's communicating, so he's trying to reach resolution. And that's critically important in today's governance and administrating of county. And also, I think it's critically important too in managing resources is we, like anybody, need to not rest on our laurels at any time. And whether, even though it might tire us out, Dr. Raley has shown that he will not allow us to. So that is wonderful to see. And I just give you kudos, but also thank you for energizing us with all of this.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say that Goochland, we got a major upgrade about 7 months ago. That's all I've got. Thank you, Dr. Raley.
Thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure. So board members, a few other things I wanted to share with you today is just a reminder to the public that our county offices will be closed on January the 19th for Martin Luther King Day, and wanted to invite the public to join us for a budget work session on January 20th at 6 o'clock across the hall in room 270. Our plan for that budget work session right now is to focus on revenue projections, public safety, and other personnel topics in preparation for the new budget year. And it would not be a county administrator's report with a few did you knows. Did you know that our team together collected 162 pounds of food and donated these goods to Goochland Cares in support of our community? And did you know that Team Goochland processed 130 requests for records, including documents, emails, and other artifacts through the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, also known as FOIA, in the calendar year of 2025? Did you know that our county's main phone number, 556-5800, receives 400 calls per month, and each one of them is answered by our very own Lisa Biskewitz, all while processing FOIA requests, serving as deputy clerk of the board, and supporting our team in countless, countless ways. So Lisa, thank you for your professionalism and your true dedication, and for keeping this county administrator straight. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, moving on to County Employee Heart of Service Award. Is that Cliff? All right, and that's Mr. Heller.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Dr. Raley, and members of the board. Thank you for this opportunity to present our first ever Heart of Service Award. A little recap of our Heart of Service Award. It was created to celebrate and recognize members of the team who exemplify the following characteristics in their daily work: honor, empathy, accountability, respect, and transparency. Please join Team Goochland in recognizing our inaugural Heart Award winner, Stephen Parrish. I have a few nice things to say about Stephen in further embarrassment. Our general service team performs multiple tasks to ensure our citizens, visitors, and employees have safe, welcoming, and clean facilities. They support the county's major capital improvement projects, but also perform many day-to-day tasks that do not garner much attention. Members of this team serve as the backbone that provides needed support and to ensure the safe and efficient operation of our county's facility assets. Stephen Parrish is one of the unsung heroes of our general services team. In his role as facilities technician, he approaches his work with a smile and a positive attitude when tasked with many things others would not be willing to do. He arrives prepared to complete the task at hand, and his attention to detail is truly phenomenal. It is Stephen's diligence that keeps our facilities looking good and functioning properly. It is also his optimism, attention to detail, and positive energy that has earned Stephen Parrish our county's first Heart Award. While Stephen embodies all the values of Heart, accountability is his strength. Accountability in public service becomes more challenging when much of the work happens out of the public view. We recognize and see that accountability in Stephen as he takes tremendous pride in the work that he does and in the service to our community. Today, we are presenting Stephen with our first Goochland County Challenge Coin recognizing his service. Please help me congratulate Stephen Parrish. I also have the next item on the agenda, our employee quarterly awards. A quick recap. This past summer, county administration collaborated with department heads to develop an employee recognition program focused on celebrating the accomplishments of members of Team Goochland in 5 different categories. Those are employee, team, rookie, leader, and customer service star. Recognition is provided to these employees who excelled in these areas each quarter, and the quarterly winners will be eligible for an annual award as the employee, team, rookie, leader, or customer service star of the quarter. Please join Team Goochland in recognizing our quarterly award winners for this period of October, November, December. Our first is our customer service star of the quarter. That would be Abigail Cordova from Animal Care and Protection. I'm going to say some nice things about her, then she can come up. Abigail exemplifies outstanding customer service in her role as the office associate at the animal shelter. As the first point of contact for callers and visitors, she consistently creates a positive and welcoming experience for the public. Abby manages front desk inquiries with professionalism and warmth while also serving as the primary dispatcher for animal protection calls, ensuring timely and accurate communication with field staff. Her excellent attitude, strong work ethic, and personable nature reflect exceptionally well on the department and on Goochland County. Abigail's dedication, reliability, and exemplary representation of the shelter make her highly deserving of the Customer Service Award. Come on up.
Can you hide the balloons like Stephen did?
There you go.
Thank you for everything you did.
Our next award winner is Employee of the Quarter. That would be Shannon Grayson, our Deputy Registrar. Okay. Shannon embodies the model employee. She exudes sheer confidence in her job and demonstrates excellence daily. In an election job where polarizing opinions and beliefs are ever present, she is a beacon of calm and rationale. The county constituents whom she serves consistently remark upon her resourcefulness in helping them with their inquiries, as well as her kindness. Voters may not know who she is when they come to the registrar's office, but they will likely leave on a first-name basis, and those who she does know will probably be sent off with a hug. Shannon has been a patient and effective teacher with our new employee, and she subscribes to learning by doing and is always open to answering even the simplest of questions without judgment. Goochland County has a true gem of an employee in Shannon Grayson and is proud of the work she does. Our next award winner is Leader of the Quarter, Don Leftwich, General Services, Convenience Centers. Don has been an excellent leader since joining the General Services Department in the spring of 2024 as our Convenience Center Manager. Many county residents, and I've personally heard this, have commented on his humor, helpfulness, and positive attitude. He's devoted to his team, providing a pleasant workplace environment, listening and caring about team's concerns and acting upon them, and provides forward-thinking and inclusive leadership. Don Leftwich.
We got your balloons yesterday. We got a cake yesterday, too. I'll share.
Our next award winner is Rookie of the Quarter, Tiffany Highteffer, County Attorney. She is the Assistant County Attorney. Tiffany joined the County Attorney's Office on July 1st with years of legal experience, but not in local government law. She has diligently read treatises and watched training videos on a wide variety of local government topics to learn areas of practices identified for her to work on. She is highly motivated and eager to jump in the fray. When she was told she could watch another attorney give a Freedom of Information Act FOIA training to county staff and that she would be expected to give it the next time, she volunteered to give the training instead of watching somebody else do it. She did a fabulous job. In this quarter in particular, Tiffany has begun to handle matters for client departments. 3 of her client contacts were so impressed with Tiffany that they reached out to the county attorney, her supervisor, to commend her positive attitude, excellent analysis, and helpful demeanor. Tiffany is an excellent recent addition to the county. Last but certainly not least, our team of the quarter is the Treasurer's Office. The Treasurer, okay, they're here, good. The Treasurer's Office does a lot more than taking money for taxes. All funds that are allocated through the county end up at the office to be distributed to the right general ledger accounts. There are many unseen tasks, including billing, collecting funds, phone calls, and balancing the county funds, etc. There's a lot of hard work that goes into running the office, and the office staff are looked at as people that takes taxpayers' money and don't care about anything else, but they're so much more. They always come in early and work so much more. They always come in early and work late during every tax season to make sure things get processed in a timely manner. They listen to the rude comments and the nice comments with a smile on their face. There is so much behind the scenes activity that they do, and the only way anyone will ever know how hard it is to work on the Treasurer's Office to actually have worked in one. They deserve this award for an amazing unsung job that they do. Come on up. Unfortunately, they can't all come up because we're actually running the Treasurer's Office at the time.
You'll have to squeeze in a little bit. Can you get us, Jessica?
Thank you, folks.
All right, thank you, Mr. Heller, for awarding some of our stellar employees. So I have a request to postpone agenda items in addition, deletions, changes in order of presentation. Are there any requests from the board? All right, seeing none, moving on.
Citizen comment.
So now we will open it up to citizen comment. Dr. Rayleigh, could you read the rules?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Christie. And when Mr. Christie opens up the public comment period, each speaker will have up to 3 minutes to be able to speak. You do have in front of you a light that will turn green when you start, and it will change to yellow at 1 minute left to speak, and then 30 seconds will start to blink, and then red light, your speaker time is up. We do welcome public comment, but in order to maintain an efficient and effective meeting, need to make sure that our speakers do stay to their 3-minute timeline. If you do choose to speak, give us your name and your address. If you do want to cede your time to someone else, we do have a process where you can cede your time, and that person's time is increased by 2 minutes per person for a total of 10 minutes in all.
All right, citizen comment is now open.
Yeah. We'll start with Mr. Robin Lynn representing VA 250.
It's up to the chair.
There you go. He's doing the slideshow right here.
Good afternoon, Board. Congratulations, Mr. Christie, on your election as chair. And thank you, Dr. Rayleigh, for reminding me that I've been retired for 7 months. So we're going to just kind of go quickly through some of our 250 commission information. And then Robin will take you through the history and some of our next steps. Robin was here 250 years ago. I was still in Cuba then. So let's see. So I'll tell you how we were formed, our membership, our part in the revolution, Cornwallis's march through Goochland, and some of the 250 Commission events, and then our challenge that we're creating called the Witness Street Challenge. Some of you were on the board when the commission was formed, 2 of you, I think. And there was a resolution passed to create the commission and assigned the Historical Society, put the Historical Society in charge of creating the commission. Mr. Alvarez was appointed chair back then, but he took a little brief break to come in and serve as interim administrator. And I agree with you, Mr. Christie, it was a huge improvement when we hired Rayleigh. So the members, there are several members here. I know also Linda and Christina Dunn, Sandy Warwick is here. Of course, we have Jessica. I don't know if Tom Cock is here. We've kind of taken Sarah off the list because we know she's busy, but we still count on her a lot. And Parks and Rec is very engaged with us. So at this point, I'll turn it over to Robin, who's going to tell us about the Goochland's part in the revolution.
So, Mr. Chairman, Vice Chair, members of the board, thank you for giving us this time to make the annual report, which we promised you in our memorandum of understanding. And it is not true that I knew Thomas Jefferson. I may have known his father, but I did not know him himself. So the part of the, most people will tell you about the American Revolution as starting in New England and being involved in skirmishes up there, and that certainly happened. But of course you know about Patrick Henry down here in Virginia and the discussions that went on before the revolution actually got going. There was a lot of discord, and families were divided, including in Goochland. Many people were still loyalists and felt that they had their loyalty to England and had not yet supported the revolution. It was probably 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, patriots, loyalists, and people who really didn't understand what was going on. However, in 1781, the British Army actually came through Goochland, and this was when Lord Cornwallis came through with his army, coming into Goochland from the north, from Lewis County, at Napier's Mill, which is now where we would call Oilville. It used to be called Watkins Mill, and some people might remember that. He then moved from there down to Bates's Plantation, where the new Goochland High School is, and from there moved on to Elk Hill, Jefferson's Elk Hill, across the road from the Elk Hill Academy. Cornwallis actually used that as his headquarters, and in June of 1781, finally decided to head back to the so-called safety of Yorktown. And you all know what happened there. But he had plundered Jefferson's property at Elk Hill. He had taken what he needed to provide sustenance for his army, which did not travel with the Quartermaster's Corps. And there were a lot of people who were extremely upset about the British Army coming through here. So it actually created more support in Goochland for the revolution. You'll see here in the next slide something at the Library of Congress which shows the march of Cornwallis's army. And there's a close-up here that in the next slide that shows, you can see that he got as far as Elk Island there, just below the Point of Fork. He actually sent John Graves Simcoe up to the Point of Fork, where he seized the arsenal and fooled von Steuben into thinking that he had a much larger force than he did. Bannister Tarleton went up to Charlottesville to try and catch Jefferson in the legislature. Jefferson is reported to have actually stood at Monticello, not the modern Monticello that we see, but the one that he was building, and saw the smoke coming up from Elk Hill and knew that Cornwallis had burned all of his barns and destroyed his property down there. Then Cornwallis turned around and came back, and you can see he went to the Goochland Courthouse, and then down to Dover, and then back to Richmond, headed back south and east to Yorktown. We are really ground zero for a county that had such a close connection to Thomas Jefferson, our most famous native son, who wrote the Declaration of Independence, was born in Goochland County, grew up in Goochland County. His father was the sheriff of Goochland County in 1731, and his grandfather, Isham Randolph, lived at Dungeness at the end of Rockcastle Road. He had a very strong connection to Goochland, in addition to the fact that his wife had brought him the property at Elk Hill. Now I'm going to turn it back over to the chairman of the commission, who will tell you what the 250 Commission has been doing.
So some of you know some of the things that we've been doing. The first thing we did was the Run to the Revolution 5K at Elk Hill Academy in 2024. We repeated that again this year, and in fact, the winner of the race was your own Jonathan Lyle.
If I came in second behind the young lady from Hanover. I was
Yeah,
the
so,
first- yeah.
well, so he was the first male winner. The first female winner was, what's her name, from the
Hodge.
Health Department.
Caitlin Hodge.
Yeah, Caitlin Hodge. She was flying. So that was this year's race. We've been holding them at Elk Hill because of the symbolic nature of running through there. We're considering now whether to do it there again this year or to move it closer to town, because it's hard to get a lot of people that far west. Although we've had people come from Albemarle, Culpeper, all over, but it's hard to get. I think we would get more Henrico and Richmond runners if we hold it here in the courthouse. So, and this year we had some reenactors. We shot off a musket to get the race started, and we had a five-player who's also a member of the Historical Society. Then, if you recall, back on November 2nd of 2024, we celebrated the 200th anniversary of General Lafayette's visit through Goochland. We had great food prepared by the culinary school at the high school. A lot of you were there. That was a really great event, and we got a lot of good publicity from that event. And now I'll turn it over back to Robin to talk about the Witness Tree Challenge.
Thank you. And I can see Ms. Miscariewicz saying, speed it up. Yes, ma'am. So the Witness Tree Challenge is something that we have launched and this year with cooperation from the Goochland County Schools, the Goochland County Education Foundation, and the Historical Society with the 250 Commission. And we are challenging students to go out into their community and see if they can find a tree or more than one tree that was growing 250 years ago. We know there are several. The next issue of the newsletter, which comes out next week, has a picture of one which you may be familiar with on the corner of Fairgrounds and Maidens Road, which is certainly over 250 years old. There are trees in the county that may be as much as 300 years old. We'd like to see them, identify them, they're not discoverers, but the finders will be recognized for their role in finding these trees and identifying them, putting tags on the trees with landowners' permission, and then having this culminate around Arbor Day at the end of April, where we'd like to have them recognized by the county. We would like to have the sites of those trees mapped so that they can be protected for the future. And we'd like them to understand both the science, horticulture, engineering, and history involved in these trees throughout the county. Go ahead. So all of this will be also culminating with, we hope, the planting of more prospective witness trees, which may be around 250 years from now, when the people in Goochland are celebrating the 500th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. That's our hope.
We hope to be there too for that. Robin will be. So we're also planning a nice event for July 4th this year. We already have the fireworks, and what we're proposing at this point is to have an event here in the courthouse area. We were originally thinking of doing something at the old courthouse because it's more historic, but by bringing it here, we will leverage the people that come for the fireworks. We know that's thousands of people, and so we plan to have patriotic music, presentation of colors, and Pledge of Allegiance, and of course, we'll try to include the high school band and so on in those events. We want to have a public reading of the Declaration of Independence by community leaders. That may be you, if you so desire. And then we also would like to have a solemn reading of the names of Goochland patriots who are known to have served in the American Revolution. We have a list in the Historical Society. We'd like to have those names. And we're thinking of other things as well. We're having a meeting on Thursday to start some of that planning. And then at the end, we'll have a big cake and we'll celebrate the 250th prior to the fireworks event starting. So I think it'll be a really good event. That's all I have. Any questions? Any money? I mean, questions? Okay, thank you. Yeah, and I think you have my book.
All right, are there any others for citizen comment? Seeing none, I will close the citizen comment period. All right, board members, I need an approval of the action minutes.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to amend the November 6 minutes to include two motions that were made by Mr. Lyle but were not seconded as per my email to you this morning.
Understood. Board members, do I have a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
Mr. Chair, I move that the board approve as amended the action minutes of the November 6, 2025 regular meeting.
Second?
All right, I've got a motion and a second. So that's a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, and the motion passes.
All right, well, Mr. Christie, we'll transition into the list of reports that are on the agenda. First, we're going to start off, we're going to bring Mr. Heller back to the microphone and have him introduce two of our new employees today.
All righty, give us a second to get situated here. Here it goes. What would I do without her? I don't know. Again, thank you for having me. We have two new employees that we would like to introduce that were hires either towards the end of December or actually technically in January. So our first one is Nora Amos. Nora started on January 2nd as the new Director of Economic Development. She previously worked for the town of Ashland, where she served as Director of Planning and Economic Development. Nora has over 23 years of experience in serving communities and local government. Nora is originally from the Winchester area and is a proud graduate of Radford University and is very excited to be part of the Goochland family. So, Nora, if you could come up. Got to get a picture. Our second new employee is Dave Wilson, our interim director of finance. Dave Wilson has joined the county and has an extensive experience as a financial professional, most recently serving in the same role with King William County and Gloucester County. David is a graduate of Old Dominion in Norfolk and enjoys spending time with his family, along with hiking and fishing. Dave, if you can come up.
All right. Board members, next on our agenda is continuing the work that we've been doing to have our department heads and teammates share a little bit about the work that they're doing. So we have Job, who is going to, our Director of Animal Care and Protection, going to provide some update regarding the great work he and his team are doing.
Thank you, Lisa. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Dr. Raley. Just like Dr. Raley said, I'm here just to give you an update on what's going on over at the animal shelter. And the animal shelter is a public safety, law enforcement, and community service partner. It protects people, animals, and county resources. And we have three main parts of our operation, and that's field services, shelter operations, and the veterinary care we provided. We're going to start off with field services. There's the gang. Last year, we handled 2,537 calls for service, which was a jump of 6% from the prior year. 951 of those calls were stray and nuisance animals, and we handled 112 possible rabies cases and 316 calls for wildlife services. Got some, here we go, a field service and call volume. Animal protection is available 24/7, 365 days a year for emergency calls. We're mandatory reporters for child welfare and elderly neglect. We work closely with law enforcement such as Goochland Sheriff's Office, Department of Wildlife Resources, State Police, Fire EMS, Social Services, Child Welfare, like I said, and the Health Department with rabies exposures. We have seen a spike in the last 4 years in our wildlife calls, and the reason for that is just that more demand for the services. As the county expands, you're getting more wildlife coming into the public view. But just to give you an idea, in 2021, we handled 67 calls for wildlife, and in the last 4 years, we've handled over 300 a year. And Department of Wildlife Resources has very limited scope. They have one officer covering 3 counties, so it's just one of those things where we're stepping in and helping out. An instance of that is our bat friend here was at Hidden Rock Park and was found by a group of youths, and they all decided to handle him before Officer Rutledge could get there. So he was sent and thankfully tested negative for rabies, but that could have been an issue. So animal protection officers handle the bite investigations, the quarantine enforcement, the submission of specimens to the health department for rabies testing, and the most common vectors for that we see are raccoons, skunks, bats. So the animals that typically get tested for rabies. Shelter operations and pet adoptions. This is the warm and fuzzy. Aha. Part of the presentation. Was there a pun intended? I don't, yes. We're really proud of these numbers here. The trademark Goochland, did you know? that we processed 788 adoptions in 2025, and that was a record, and that's a jump of 39%. We impounded 1,060 animals, and that was a 21% increase. And we also dropped our euthanasia rate by 25% this year, and that is with the increased intakes. And like Dr. Riley was saying about working with partners around us and wanting to be leaders, we want to be a leader. We want to set the standard for animal care around in Virginia. We transferred animals from 30 different Virginia municipalities this year and nonprofit organizations. And if you really get in the weeds about it, typically nonprofits are pulling animals from municipal shelters, not the vice versa. So I think our reputation's gotten out that we're doing the best we can for every animal that comes through our door. And we've been awarded the last 3 years the No Kill Excellence Award from the Best Friends Animal Society, and we're certainly proud of that. Another big part of our shelter program is the volunteers. They do thousands of hours of work for us every year. We couldn't do it without them. They're amazing. They extend staff impact. We have 94 active volunteers right now. We've never had that many. And a lot goes into that. You have to train them. You have to have the capacity, you have the facility to house them, basically, like the animals. And you got to have a lot of coordination with the staff. And Erin is our volunteer coordinator, and she does a great job there. And then our veterinary programs. We have basically a full veterinary hospital at the shelter. We got a dental x-ray machine installed today. We have a regular x-ray machine. We have full surgery suite, ultrasound, dental equipment, laboratory and diagnostic equipment. And our amazing vet staff, they did 1,862 vaccinations last year, 273 in-house spays and neuters, and 534 other procedures in 2025. And when you think about that, our vets are part-time. They work about 10 to 12 hours a week, and there's 2 of them. We have Dr. Lori Elliott, and we have Dr. Erica Ditzler, and we also have our wonderful full-time vet tech over there, Bridget Foster. She's been a godsend for us. So the great thing about that is we are able to put basically what I call turnkey pets out in the community. They've had all their shots. They've been tested for heartworms. They've been microchipped so they can get back to the owner if they get lost. They're all spayed and neutered. So we want to make sure that, every animal that goes out is representative of Goochland County and the quality we really want in that veterinary stuff. And speaking of partnerships, the great Goochland Pet Lovers partnership we have, this is Dagny, the German Shepherd. He was shot in the face in Buckingham County. Buckingham County did not have the resources to do anything about it. They called Richmond Animal Control, who has a Tommy Fund, who said, if you can find another shelter to take him, because you don't have the resources and staff to take care of him, we'll pay for the surgery. So we said, we'll take him. He was adopted by this wonderful family in Goochland. He's living the life of Riley with them. And Goochland Pet Lovers picked up all the aftercare bills. So it didn't cost anything for the county other than the time we spent taking care of them at the shelter. They're a great partner to have. And just before Christmas, you can see that dog getting the MRI there. That's Noelle. She was hit by a car right before Christmas in Mannequin-Sabot. Had a severe back injury, needed back surgery, needed the MRI. Goochland Pet Lover said, we got it. We'll take care of it. She's at the shelter right now in recovery, and she's doing great. So this partnership with Goochland Pet Lovers allows us to say yes to animals in situations that most municipal shelters aren't going to be able to do anything with. So we're certainly proud of that. Community support. We have people come into the shelter. I've never seen anything like this. Every single day bringing things to us, toys, dog bowls, anything, financial donations. And you may be wondering, why is there a picture of fireworks in this animal protection presentation? And I got that picture from Tom, and it's not because it drives the dogs nuts at the shelter, which it does. But actually, we had a gentleman call, and he made a $500 donation to the animal shelter. He said, and he lives in Powhatan, but he said, I love you guys, and I love your fireworks. So, yeah, there's Parks and Rec getting us a $500 donation. And this little girl here is Duchess. She belonged to Mr. and Mrs. Vetter, who were 40-year residents of Goochland County, and she was found at the Goochland County dump in 1971, before there even was an animal shelter down there. She sent us a check for over $6,000 because her husband, who had passed 2 years, Dr. Keith Vetter, had passed 2 years ago, and just loved the idea that the shelter was built, and it had, it had a wonderful, great place for animals to go in Goochland County. And then just looking forward, we have an information session coming up for home-based rescue groups and community cat organizations. That's January 9th from 6 to 8 in room 270. This will be the first one we've ever done, and we just kindly ask people to RSVP, the phone number there. And then we have the Rainbow Bridge Gazebo Project, and that's going to be in Hidden Rock Park on the dog walking trail. And that's going to be a reflective spot for people to remember their pets that have passed. And I just want to say I'm really proud of my team. They do an amazing job. They do a great job for people over there and animals. And that's it, yeah. Any questions?
All right, board members, any questions or comments?
Mr. Chair. I just want to say I'm delighted to see the partnership with Goochland Pet Lovers continue. What has it been? Since almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
Perhaps. And thank you all for continuing that, and it's a great partnership.
Thank you. It is.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Joe, it's hard for me to hear your voice and not expect a Friday video to follow, which I watch with my wife every week, and it's everything I do to not get her down the shelter every week. I just want to take a minute to thank you and your team. You know, I wasn't around when Ms. Dixon had this vision. I think the original plan, because of the size of our county and what we were moving on from, was just the you bring your pet there and whatever happened. There was no adoption center, and Ms. Dixon got this team together with pet lovers. And while I never had the privilege to meet her, I feel like her legacy lives on, and I think she's very proud of these numbers, and you should be proud of your team. So just amazing job, and it's always amazing to go there. I send people there when they come to visit the county as one of our shining examples. One thing that was interesting, you know, I do a lot of ride-alongs, and you know, with different folks. I've done ride-alongs with your guys and gals, but the stat you had about the increase in population and the increase in calls, which you can hypothesize that's I'm moving to the country, I don't know what I'm getting into kind of thing. And I've talked with Chief Ferguson that how great it would be to potentially have something like a welcome to the country. One of the things that from fire and rescue perspective is people don't know how to act on a country road when an ambulance comes up behind them. Or, you know, so somebody sees a black bear just meandering through, you know, it's not the great grizzly bear, but maybe something in combination of hey, welcome to Goochland County, you know, when the lights go out, you may not have water, and you're going to see some animals, and it's not a bad thing. Thank you for all you and your team do.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I have a question about the volunteer program.
Sure.
What's the minimum age for the youth?
16.
16?
Yes.
Okay. We'll make room because my daughter's growing up quick.
We're ready.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Joe, just want to thank you for your professionalism, your strong leadership, and the professionalism of your team. It's truly a pleasure to have them doing great things for our community, and it starts with this environment that you create, and just grateful for what you do for everybody in our community. Really
Thank you
appreciate
very
it.
much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Board members, our next report is from Andrea Ahonen and the team at Goochland Cares. I had the opportunity to spend several meetings with Andrea as a part of my transition plan, and she and I had a chance to chat a little bit about budget, and so she's here today to talk a little bit about the successes of the team and some opportunities for the future.
Forward. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Dr. Raley, Mr. Chairman, and Board of Supervisors. Thank you for allowing me your time today. I'm Andrea Ahonen, CEO of Goochland Cares, and I'd first like to thank and recognize our Board of Directors. I'd like to ask those who came to join today to please stand. We have 21 upstanding leaders from the community who voluntarily serve on our Board of Directors within our organization to make a tremendous impact in the work that we achieve. And we're incredibly grateful for their support. So thank you all, and thank you for being here today. As you all may be aware, Goochland Cares mission is to provide basic human services and health care to our Goochland neighbors in need. Our vision is an equitable community where all persons have their basic needs met, empowering them to lead lives of dignity and well-being. So for more than 20 years, Goochland County has supported our work with a financial contribution to offset the costs we incur for several of our 12 programs. So I want to thank you as representatives of the county and citizens for your generous support in those areas. I'd like to share the impact of that funding for the last complete fiscal year. First is the transportation program, for which we received $78,000 in funding and fuel, which is 35% of the total program cost operated by Goochland Cares. As you know, with no public transportation in our geographically large and rural county, many residents face isolation from necessary services like food or health care. In fact, the western part of the county is considered a food desert. Those who are elderly or disabled face the greatest hardship without access to transportation. Through our program, we were able to transport 104 riders last year, which included 64 seniors and 56 disabled residents. On 960 rides within the county, 242 rides to the greater Richmond area, for a total of 37,757 miles between 2 vehicles and 1.5 staff members. Next is the Sexual and Domestic Violence Program, for which the county provides $28,000 of funding, or 6% of the total program cost. Unfortunately, our community is not immune to sexual and domestic violence like many. Goochland County Domestic Violence Hotline is staffed 24 hours, 7 days a week by the Goochland Cares program team. We provide safe temporary shelter with our emergency house or providing hotel stays for victims impacted by this type of violence. We connect victims to legal support, accompany them to court, provide ongoing case management and mental health services, and walk side by side with victims as they rebuild their lives. Last year, we served 68 individuals, including 4 seniors and 10 children. We answered 38 hotline calls to frightened individuals in need of support, and we provided 1,455 nights of shelter to 25 individuals. Your support is a tremendous resource to aid those in crisis at their most vulnerable time, so thank you. Last is our critical home repair program. The county has provided in the last year, $130,000 of funding, which represents 27% of the total cost to operate this Goochland Cares program. Aimed at keeping individuals safely in their homes, last year we served 132 individuals, including 87 seniors and 18 children. 98 homes were repaired through 159 projects, ranging from plumbing to HVAC, ramps, roofs, electrical, and more. 38% of the projects completed were urgent needs that had to be addressed quickly. And yet, though much work was completed and done successfully, many projects unfortunately remain incomplete. Despite more than doubling our total program funding from 2019, with a budget of $218,000 to 2025 at over $500,000, the wait list has continued to grow. Whereas we once carried over very few projects year to year because of budgetary constraints, we now carry over dozens. We ended the 2025 calendar year with 31 projects already on the wait list for 2026. We attribute this to several factors. The population of Goochland is aging, with those in the low income category mostly on a fixed income. The largest population age group in Goochland County is 65 or older, representing 23% of the population. 62% of the Goochland Cares critical home repair clients are 65 or older. In fact, the recently published Community Health Improvement Plan for Goochland County, led by the Virginia Department of Health, identified the top 3 population health priorities as: number 1, older adult services and support; 2, mental health; and 3, attainable and safe housing. Secondly, it's no secret that while inflation and cost of living has sharply increased over the last 5 years, Goochland County's own property assessment and taxes have also risen, leading to less margin for low-income citizens. Since 2021, both the U.S. inflation rate and Goochland property assessments have increased by 20% or more. We have seen the need for additional resources represented in the unbelievable rise in demand for basic needs support, of which Goochland Cares provides, such as our food pantry. Since 2021, our food pantry visits have increased an astonishing 75%. Individuals are struggling. We can assume that if individuals are struggling to put food on the table, expensive home repairs are going to go unaddressed. The availability of low-income housing in Goochland is decreasing, while the condition of existing low-income housing also deteriorates. From the Community Action Partnership Housing Report, only 14% of housing units in Goochland are considered affordable for those at 50% or less of the area median household income. Additionally, 1 out of 5 homes, so 20% of homes in Goochland County, have 1 or more substandard housing conditions. Those include conditions such as lack of complete plumbing or kitchen facilities, a high number of average occupants per room, or monthly housing costs exceeding 50% of their monthly household income. The Building Inspection Office currently also has a wait list of 143 homes that have been identified as having received substantial damage to them by natural disasters, with remedy for those situations not yet having occurred. Outside of our Goochland Cares Critical Home Repair Program, there are very limited resources available in the community to support vulnerable citizens in fixing housing issues that threaten their ability to stay in their homes safely. Our team works collaboratively with many other entities, but across these resources, less than $20,000 of collective funding is reliably dedicated to meet those needs outside of Goochland Cares programming and the county's support of that. That means that our program is heavily relied upon to meet this growing need within the county. You may wonder, what happens if we do not meet this need? And to answer that is many neighbors would be forced to leave their homes. I would also like to point out that statistically, the majority of the clients served through this critical home repair program are single African-American female seniors. If these citizens must leave their homes, they will often turn to other resources like social services, Goochland Cares' other 11 programs, and other local services for further support. With our emergency house being the only local shelter in the county, we know that the demand for that program is standing to rise. We also know there's a much greater financial strain to support an unhoused individual at an average cost of $2,500 per person per month, compared to an average project cost of a home repair at $2,600 total. Additionally, it is tremendously much more beneficial and for the well-being, empowerment, and dignity of an individual to stay in their home versus relying on an emergency shelter. In requesting a 20% increase in funding for Goochland Cares to boost our critical home repair funding program, the county can support a program that, one, ensures that those served are tax-paying citizens. Requirements for clients to receive support include meeting our registration guidelines, income limitations, so they must be at 250% of the federal poverty level or below. Interestingly enough, about 90% are actually under 200% of the federal poverty level for the critical home repair program. They must be a homeowner or have lifetime rights to the property, and they must be current on their local Goochland property taxes. You can ensure also that the program utilizes local contractors, vendors, and suppliers, giving business back to the community. 87% of our projects completed are done by local licensed contractors. And finally, of course, the program addresses a real need in our community, prioritizing the well-being, safety, and health of vulnerable senior citizens. In conclusion, I'd like to once again thank you and the county, your leadership, and the citizens for your support of all our vulnerable neighbors, and ask you to please carefully consider our request. And at this time, I'd like to ask Manny Alvarez, a longtime supporter and member of the Goochland Cares Board of Directors, to come up and give a few parting remarks.
As you know, I've kind of served in your roles, all of your roles, except for Lisa, because I'm definitely not qualified for that one. And Tara's. I wouldn't want that one. One of the things that I always heard when I was on regional committees and so on, and from citizens, how do you deal with social issues like homelessness and abuse, family abuse. And I always said I don't have to because of Goochland Cares. So I think it is a great resource. And I would especially like you to consider increasing the funding for the home repair program. All of the folks, I would say that that's the program that most of the people assisted by that program have lived in Goochland all their lives. They're older, they want to stay in their home, and if the home is not repaired, it's going to be condemned and they're going to have to move out. And whatever investment is made there stays in Goochland County. So I really would appreciate if you would consider that. As you know, because I'll let you all know, a couple of weeks ago I had a major issue with my water supply. It cost me over $8,000 to get it all repaired in the end. Most of our clients, I don't know any of our clients that qualify for our services that could have done that. So more than likely they would have gone to buying bottled water when they could, or maybe walking to the well with a bucket. So thank you all. Anything else you want to add or?
Yeah, I'd just like to share one last story of a local citizen, a client of ours. And at 96 years old, Edith lives alone in her Goochland home where she had lived her whole life. She reached out to our team on a cold winter day last winter, seeking options for help and sharing with us that sweaters and space heaters were the only way she was keeping warm. Our team jumped into action and within days had a contractor out to repair her HVAC system in her home so that she could have working heat. She was overcome with gratitude for our quick response, and we know there are many more citizens that we don't even know of yet that are living like Edith and needing support to stay safely in their homes. So we thank you for your support. I welcome questions or comments, and just appreciate all that you all do for our community.
Thank you. Board members, any comments, questions?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for the presentation. I just did some back of an envelope math. So the 20% is the increase in the 130 home repair.
No, I'm sorry, that's 20% of the total funding.
All right, that which instead of 26, it would be 46,000 if I did that math right.
I think it's 61.
Well, I took 236, which is what you got this year, and 20% of that. But maybe
I think it's 292 is the current funding.
Well,
I
that's
believe.
fine. I just added up the numbers you shared there. But regardless, I endorse the comments that have been made that this is a community taking care of its citizens, its neighbors, and I don't believe that as a government entity we could be as efficient and as connected as what I see at Goochland Care. So thank you for the presentation, and I look forward to our budget deliberations. I also appreciate specificity, that you're not just saying we'd like more help, but you're showing us where it goes. And
Thank you. And I do have more materials to leave with you all with specific numbers and
all
such
right.
too.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know, what you've just covered is just a smidgen of what Goochland Cares does for our community. And everywhere I go, everybody is so proud of Goochland Cares. And we just need to thank you, and thank you, directors, for giving of your time and resources and donations, I'm sure, to this wonderful cause. And so I know we will give good consideration towards your request, realizing we have budgetary constraints. So,
Yes.
thank you all for what you do.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Ms. Honan, one thing that I would stress as we work through the budget process is don't be afraid to be aspirational. At least that's a comment coming from me. I'll let my colleagues speak for themselves. But we are doing things to advance this county on a number of fronts. Care, though, of all our citizens should always be a priority. And we're trying to do those things that help us make sure we can afford it, and pay for it, so that we can eliminate these things that you've identified and you all work so nobly to do. So I've stressed this to Dr. Raley, I'll stress it to you, I'll stress it to any department head. Please don't feel like you're holding back. And I think creativity, I think a budget process is made boring because people keep it boring. It's made for creativity. It's made for thinking through all those things where you can make a difference in our community. And I appreciate everything that Goochland Cares is doing, but I stress that as we move forward in the next several months.
Great, thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much for your presentation, for your ask. I've got a great history with Goochland Cares. When my wife started her business, she started working with them a long time ago. I got to serve on the board of Goochland Cares, so I have a huge affinity, and if it's always a toss-up whether to send them to the animal shelter first or to Goochland Cares.
We love the animal shelter too, so.
As one of the things. I'm hoping maybe you can help me, because for 5 years, I have been asking your team, your predecessor, to help me do what I think Goochland Cares does best, which is utilize, the reason I got on the board of Goochland Cares is because I never saw an organization stretch a dollar like they did. When I went down as a service project for my church to paint the at that time, the food pantry, which had divine intervention, because if you did the math, there's no way all the refrigerators and freezers could run off the outlet that it was running off, but yet it did. So I joined the board. And then as I started working with them, even in my capacity as doing advertising with you guys and working with and I got to meet your clients, the number one thing that they said, unsolicited, was, when I asked what was great about Goochland Cares, is it's not government. So there's not the red tape. And that's where I'm going. It's a little challenging for me that for 5 years, I've been asking your team, and your predecessor mostly, but most recently, Ms. Frazier, when she asked me to talk to her about what y'all could possibly do at the bank, to say, it's been communicated to me that government makes it more expensive for you to do the repairs that you're doing. So I've been asking for several years to figure out what are the things that we're doing that we can help decrease the costs of this. It used to be somebody could go and help out, and they didn't have to be a licensed contractor. But then there were things that we could potentially do, and yet I've never been taken up on that offer. So I'm hoping maybe you would take us up on that offer to figure out how can we make it more affordable instead of just throwing more dollars at it. Maybe we throw more dollars and make it more affordable and have more impact.
Yeah, certainly. Happy to take that back to my team and brainstorm and get back to you.
Awesome.
Mr. Spoonhour.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My only ask is just do not drop the Goochland and Goochland Cares in the name. And
It's our mission, so
absolutely perfect.
you've got our word on that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Board members, next on our agenda is our monthly update from our partners at VDOT, and just continue to appreciate the work that we do in collaboration with Philip Frazier and his team. We did have a great conversation on another topic today, and every time that I've corresponded with Philip, he's been right there to respond, and Philip continually thankful for the partnership and the relationship that we have with you. So looking forward to hearing more from you today about the work that we're doing together.
Appreciate those kind words, Dr. Raley. Good evening, members of the board. Mr. Christie, Mr. Spoonhour, congratulations on your nominations. So today, first and foremost, I brought my own drink in case I have any issues. But last month, I provided, and Mr. Spoonhour, you weren't here. I was struggling with my voice. But last month, I gave a presentation about our snow operations and our snow plan. This month, I'm not bringing any kind of large presentation, but I do want to give you an update on a few particular large-scale projects in Goochland County that are kind of coming up on the tail end, some critical milestones. So I'm not going to go over every single project, but I do want to bring up Fairground Road Extension. That project is currently in the right-of-way phase. I believe that could move pretty quickly through the right-of-way phase, faster than normal, because there's a donation that's going to take place. Once we finish that, then we'll go into that final design phase. The next one is Route 617 and 64, the roundabout at the Oilville interchange. Some slightly bad news, but not terrible news. That project was delayed. It was supposed to be advertised in December. We had some design issues with some drainage items, so the advertisement has been pushed back until March, so a couple months. But what I will tell you is when we originally scoped the project and we set the schedule, the advertisement date was actually out past into 2026. So if we had delivered it in March, we would have been a few months early. This keeps us right on schedule. The next one, the diverging diamond at 623, I believe I've mentioned that project, the RFP, or the request for proposal, has been issued. That was done in November. It's on track for that award at the end of this fall in 2026. Hockett Road and Ashland Road, the extension project. That project has a public hearing coming up next Tuesday. I believe it's at the church right there on Hockett Road. I believe is it Dover? I can't remember the name, but I think it is Dover. Anyway, so that's next week, and I will be there to support and answer any questions. Next one, Hard Shoulder Running Project. This is a pretty large project that spans both Goochland and Powhatan counties. That project actually was advertised, let, and the bids far exceeded the engineer's estimate. So what we have done is we only had one bidder, and it was far above what we were estimating. So again, what we will do is we will go back, we'll scrub the project, see, maybe connect with industry to figure out, what maybe we left on the table, if there was any kind of confusion, was there anything that we may have missed in our contract development, and then put the contract back together, advertise it, and see what happens. So that will happen in the next couple months, that re-advertisement. It's going to be critically important for us to understand what it takes to do this type of work. There's so much technology-based scope, ITS, that we call, and if we're going to do the opposite side of 288, it's going to be critically important for us to make sure that we're developing that project, considering the same risks. So with that, those are the 5 projects I wanted to give you guys an update on. The last thing I will mention is we did meet with county staff earlier this morning to discuss some concerns about Ashland Road at the intersection with Rockville Road, or 622. We've heard that there's some concerns about making turning movements to go kind of north on 623 back to the interstate. So my team, working with the traffic engineering team at our district office, is looking at some potential improvements. Not sure what that might look like quite yet, but once we have collaborated with those guys, we will develop a full report and response and share it back with the county. So appreciate your patience, and appreciate, Dr. Raley, you and your team for having these good and fruitful conversations. So with that, nothing else to add, and we'll take any questions.
Board, any questions or comments?
Mr. Frazier, as always, thank you so much. I am actually a fan of VDOT. I do travel across other state lines, and I will put the Virginia highway system up against others. Not to get swell-headed, it's not perfect, but I think you all are a whipping post on occasion, and unfairly, I would submit sometimes. You said that the hard shoulder, you were going to scrub the project, and I don't know if that means you were going to clean it up, or you were actually going to shoot it and kill it.
No, we are not killing the project.
Okay,
What
so
we
scrub
do-
means,
We look at it, we try and identify why maybe there wasn't a large interest in the project, and what maybe was included in the contract that maybe provided or created some type of reservation from bidding it, or confusion. So we try to identify what that might look like,
Okay.
so that we can provide a more specific contract and get bids that we
All right.
believe are.
all right, with scrub, I just thought NASA, when they scrub a launch, that it's like they're not going
Yeah,
to do
I
it.
apologize. No, we're
No,
not
no.
killing that project,
Okay.
on the record.
And it is Dover Baptist Church. You're correct.
Thank
They're-
you.
They're on Mannequin Road. Yes, sir. It's where you actually had the roundabout presentation last year sometime.
With the same project.
Yeah. Yep.
This will be the 3rd public hearing for this project.
Okay. And not to, are all of the adjoining property owners notified? Because I know at one time some of them weren't aware. And is there anything we could do as a county to make sure that property owners adjoining and interested parties are aware of this?
So I would have to go back and confirm that they have all been contacted. What I can tell you is the reason we've already had 2 public hearings was because the first one, property owners were not contacted.
Yes.
So we came back and did a follow-up location public hearing. I would hate to admit that we made the same mistake twice for now the design public hearing. So, but I can confirm that.
Okay, and Dr. Rayleigh, I guess we know who these people are. Is that correct? The property owners and
Well, the department, we know who.
Okay,
We
all
can,
right.
we'll double check and make sure.
All right.
I can confirm that.
Great. Thank you.
Just briefly, Mr. Chairman, if I may, because I got a call on the way to the meeting today about River Road and Route 6 there at the Country Club. Give us a little update on.
So at 6 in River, okay, so at 6 and 650 where we met previously. There's no update at this point that we have. We have nothing in the queue to improve the intersection. We did come up with a design, what we called an R-cut, which is forcing folks to make a right out of the intersection, go down and make a U-turn, which is actually a safer movement, two-phased movement versus crossing the intersection as it's currently constructed. That type of project would require a design phase and potentially right-of-way and utility impacts. So it's a larger scale project that I think that between the department and county staff, we can figure out a way to maybe pursue that, with future funding opportunities. But there is no current improvement that is scheduled for the intersection.
Yeah. Mr. Chairman, so that is actually on the agenda later on today, where we're going to be asking funding from the board to appropriate some opportunities for us to work with a contractor so that we are poised and ready for the Smart Scale Round 7 application that's forthcoming. That is one of the projects that is on the list.
Anyone else? All right. Thank you, Mr. Frazier.
All right, guys, have a good evening.
Keep up the good work.
Yep, you
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you, Philip. Board members, the remainder of the reports are in your packet. We do have staff who are here. Those reports for the benefit of the public include planning and development activity, reports from the Planning Commission, Board of Zoning Appeals, Design Review Committee, with a broadband report, the accounts payable report for December of 2025. So if you have any questions about them, we're certainly happy to answer them at this time.
Any questions? All right.
Okay. Board members, I don't know if you have any reports. This is the opportunity for you to share anything with the public from any committees that you maybe have been a part of as well. Okay. So next on our agenda is the consent agenda, and board members, 3 of the 4 items that are presented to you today for your consideration were discussed at our December the 19th CIP work session. Those items include numbers 1, 3, and 4. Number 1 on your consent agenda is what I just shared, and that is a request to appropriate $225,000 from the CVTA local fund to our CIP program for assistance with our Round 7 Smart Scale application. As we discussed on that 1219 meeting, we have been the beneficiary of a significant amount of dollars for transportation in our community. It's because we've done our homework in advance, and we've been really proactive in investing dollars that have returned us really significant dividend. For the expenditures that we have made, we received millions and millions of dollars in transportation projects, so seeking your approval to invest $225,000 today. The other project that we discussed on 1219 is item number 3, and that's considering amending our current budget by appropriating $3.29 million in the CIP fund for the Fairgrounds Road, Maidens Road Roundabout project. We are also seeking your approval to set a public hearing for your next board meeting on February 3rd for a resolution allowing us to purchase 3 fire engines and 1 tanker per our discussion. Ultimately, given the amount of money requested to make this happen, it is greater than 1%, so ultimately we have to set a public hearing to do that. And so your action today would be setting the public hearing, but no action until February 3rd. And then the last item we did not discuss at our 1219 CIP work session, but it is something that I've talked individually with you about, and that is a request from the Goochland County Fire Rescue Association for a reimbursement up to $150,000 for the installation of a 24x48 modular home on the site of Fife Station 4, and that is to support operations for our fire rescue professionals out in that facility. Happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Board members, any questions on the consent agenda?
Just a comment, Mr. Chair. In item one, the $225,000, I just want to call it to the public that we're looking to take that from CVTA funds. So that would not be from revenues gained from property taxes, but through the tax on the fuel and sales that went into effect 2020, that 50% of that money comes back to the locality. So this transportation taxes going to transportation items.
Great highlight, Mr. Spoonhour. Any other comments or
Yeah,
questions?
Mr. Chairman, I would just comment on the Fife Fire Station. $150,000 is a whole lot less than $12 million for a new fire station. So I think that is a huge win-win that we're able to keep that very necessary facility operating. And at $150,000, I'd call that a bargain. I'm not sure if we want to look at that for Station 8 or not, but it would be one. I really do commend the county for collaborating with the association on that.
I agree, and it's urgent. Any others?
Mr. Chair, adding to what Mr. Lyle just said, I would say that what is needed at Station 4 highlights what we discussed in detail at the CIP meeting, in that we have a number of deferred maintenance CapEx issues in this county that have been overlooked and not addressed. And I'll speak, I appreciate that groups like the Volunteer Fire and Rescue Association have done more with less for many, many years. But I, for one, do not want our firefighters in a modular home to be a regular occurrence versus really making sure we support and fund our CIP enhancements moving forward.
Thank you, Mr. Waters. Mr. Winfrey?
I won't try to make a motion, but I want to say something. I had the opportunity on Saturday to witness firsthand action, airmen and women in their fire and rescue in action on a property that I own, which is a rental property, and they had a chimney fire. And I went over there and I witnessed just very professional, very orderly, very teamwork involved display of just greatness by our fire. And Chief Watkins, I see you there, and I just, I commend you all for that. And I thought to myself then, I said, this is timely because we're having a pretty significant budget item on the agenda for today's meeting. And so I would like to make the motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented, and with great appreciation to everyone concerned.
Mr. Chair, second.
All right, I've got a motion and a second. All right, we'll do a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Yay.
Aye. All right, motion passes.
Board members, next on your agenda is new business. You have in front of you some regional board appointments for this month, as well as some citizen appointments by you as a board. Certainly, if you are satisfied with these recommendations and appointments, you can take them as a slate with one motion here today.
Board members, do I have a motion?
So moved to approve that slate. I think we originally were giving consideration for a planning commissioner representative to the Plan RVA, and that we'll make that decision later on, but the rest of it I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, and the motion passes.
Last item on your 3 o'clock agenda today, board members, is the opportunity to discuss at a closed meeting the performance and duties of the county administrator per Virginia Code Section 2.23711A1. We'll need a motion to enter in closed session.
So moved.
Second?
All right, I got a motion and a second. This is a roll call. All right, Dr. Rayleigh, if you could do a roll call vote.
Okay, Mr. Lyle,
Yay.
Mr. Winfrey,
Yes.
Mr. Spoonhour,
Yes.
Mr. Waters,
Yes.
and Mr. Christie.
Yes. All right, closed session. So board members, do I have a certification to close the meeting or a motion for closure?
So moved.
The attorney is going to say something.
Yeah, I do. Sorry, it's a process-heavy.
Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to take one for the
Please
team.
do that.
Pursuant to Virginia Code 2.2-3712D, I move that the board members hereby certify that, to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements under the Freedom of Information Act, and only the public business matters identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered in the closed meeting.
Second.
All right, I've got a motion and a second. Dr. Rayleigh, can you conduct a roll call vote?
Mr. Lyle?
Yay?
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Spoonhour?
Yes.
Mr. Waters?
Yes.
And Mr. Christie?
Yes.
Recess, be back at 6 o'clock.
All right, so we will now take a recess and we will reconvene at 6 p.m.
There you go. Awesome. There you go. Awesome. There you go. Awesome. There you go. Awesome.
All right, I'm going to call to order. So first up, we have citizen comment. Dr. Raley, if you'd handle the rules.
Sure. Welcome, everyone. We're glad that you're with us here this evening. And if you're interested in speaking tonight, the board welcomes that public comment, and we will allow 3 minutes for public comment today. As you come to the podium, announce your name and your address. When you start, the light in front of you will turn green, and then it will change to yellow at 1 minute, and then we'll start to flash when you have 30 seconds left. And when your time is up, it will flash to red. If we do have individuals who want to cede their time so a speaker can speak longer, certainly that's a possibility. You will have 2 minutes per time, up to a total of 10 minutes in all. The board welcomes public comment, but public comment's not intended to last more than 1 hour.
Citizen comment is now open. Anyone want to come forward? Oh. Please hit the button on the microphone. Yeah.
There we go.
Yep,
The red
state-
button. Oh, I got you.
Yep,
Okay.
and state your name and address.
Yes. Good evening. My name's Kevin Larson. I'm at 4638 Walton Road, and I want to cede my time to Danny Dalton.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and supervisors. My name is Dan Dalton. I'd like to make a public comment about CU 2025-0012 Virginia Sports Park proposal to put 17 public use shooting stations next to family homes. I live at 4621 Walton Road, 500 yards from location. There are numerous concerns with the proposal. Chief among them are the noise, the lead pollution, increased traffic in already dangerous intersections, property devaluation. As a VSP developer and a sitting Goochland County Supervisor, Mr. Winfrey should welcome the concerns of all Goochland County citizens. However, VSP's Director Adnan Hamini has attempted to silence our concerns by reporting yard signs to VDOT for removal on technical violations. Never mind the fact that the data center signs, home for sale signs, and Goochland business signs have existed on those intersections throughout the county for months. It seems they want to silence our concerns over their proposal. A public use gun range does not belong next to family homes. There are 7 homes within a quarter mile, over 30 homes within half a mile, over 120 homes within a mile, over 500 homes within 2 miles. The shooting stations are positioned right on the property lines with minimal distance to neighboring homes. Closest home is only 600 feet away from the skeet stand. That's 400 feet from the property line. The neighbor will be subject to hazardous sound simply by standing on his own property. From the onset, VSP was deceptive about this proposal. VSP stated that the range would provide big economic benefit to the county, but it's a nonprofit, so it'll be minimal benefit to the county. VSP stated they want to be good neighbors, so they wouldn't begin operations till 9 a.m. But their CUP lists 8 a.m. to dusk, 365 days a year. All weekends and all holidays be polluted with gunfire. Their CUP mentions 40 to 70 patrons expected on weekends, but they're on record stating that 70 to 100 patrons would be expected for tournaments. Goochland County's noise ordinance states that residents should be able to use and enjoy their homes free from respective noise that rises to the level of nuisance. VSP's proposed range will rise beyond the level of nuisance and pose hazardous noise levels to its closest neighbors. VSP's traffic impact analysis study was deficient. Did not examine a crucial intersection less than a mile from their site, where Three Chop Road meets Broad Street Road at Demores Market. Residents experience hazardous conditions on a daily basis from drivers making improper turns, patrons obstructing visibility from traffic from the west, patrons turning on Three Chop turning Three Chop into a one-lane road due to improper parking and more. VSP has not conducted a formal sound study. They did not provide any details about the informal study they conducted in August of 2025, but expect neighbors to take their 53 dBA sound measurements simply on trust and not verifiable fact. VSP has had over 2 years to develop their application. Neighbors have had only 2 months to respond, and it has fallen on the holiday season. This gives an unfair advantage to the developer, especially when you consider that VSP's president is Mr. Winfrey. We are asking the Planning Commission to defer their consideration until a traffic impact analysis is redone to include the 3 Chop and Broad Street intersections. A formal sound study is conducted with conditions agreed upon by all involved parties, and the Commission and supervisors impose reasonable limitations upon the CUP based on precedents with the ORPAC CUP that existing ranges in nearby counties to protect the existing family homes on Walton roads. In conclusion, I'd like to invite you to come walk my property and that of our neighbors to see our proximity to VSP's proposal and the adverse effect it would have on our families. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any other public speakers, comments?
Good evening. My name is Adnan Hamidi, and I live on Nib Lane in Manicansabit. I'm not here tonight to speak against anything, but I'm here tonight to pay respect and give a shout out to Goochland's Finders Fire and Rescue. Last Saturday, we had a small, well, not too small, an incident at our home. And emergencies generally do not announce themselves when it's going to happen. And as a former first responder, I know the importance of urgency, of timing, of response time, and also dealing with the people on site. I like to say that we had about 6 units total arrive at our farm on Saturday, early afternoon. And the fire and rescue, they were beyond professional. Their response time was amazing. First unit arriving within 5 minutes and the remainder arriving in less than 9 minutes. It's unheard of. And not only did they stick around and take care of this issue for us, but they made sure that everything was checked before they left. They laid down mats so they wouldn't ruin my rugs. Amazing. Then they left, they offered to clean up. Then they came back the next day to make sure everything was okay. Just wanted to say thank you. Just want to say thank you to the amazing men and women in Goochland Fire and Rescue, and as a clear example of the leadership, and also Chief Ferguson. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizens want to make a comment?
All right, my name's Kyle Edwards. I live at 4602 Walton Road. I just like to second everything Mr. Dalton said. I live basically right across the street from where the Virginia Sports Park is being proposed. Got a 3-year-old son, a 1-month-old son. That's where we chose to raise our family, and I mean, it would be extremely loud. They had mentioned in the first community meeting that, well, maybe they could come enjoy the shooting range sometime. Okay, so that's great. Childhood ruined. Didn't get a quiet moment even on a Sunday. But, you know, I can go shoot. That's great. I grew up shooting. I was on my middle school and high school skeet shooting team. We never shot that close to anybody's house. I mean, I just don't even know why it needs to be said, but it's just crazy. I mean, and then we talked about the property values. Who would buy a home that close to a shooting range when you can move 10 minutes up the road? So that's really all I've got for right now. But anyway, thank y'all for your time.
My name is Jose Alejandro. I live right there next to the proposed thing. I just built that house right there. I don't know if you guys have a chance of the house. I spent like a lot of money right there doing the house, and I have a plan to build 4 more houses right there. But with that situation, my house not gonna be livable, because from my house I can see the 64 right there, like very close to. And my house is on the top of the hill. I can hear the hallway all the time. With this proposed thing, you know, if they come true, the house is not livable anymore. My concern is about noise and safety. because my house is like 100 foot off the property line. I mean, if someone was shot with a buckshot, I'd be dead. You know, it's not safe for me. In my family, I have 3 kids, and I'm planning to bring the animals, horses, all this. I already started fence, the proper everything. My concern is about all this, you know, and I'm just standing where he's saying. Thank you.
Sir, can you just state your address for the record, please?
4603 Welter Road. The first house beside the Lockstone.
Right, I know where your house is. It's
Yeah.
just for the record.
Yeah, thank
you.
you. Thank you, guys.
Anyone else?
Good. Okay. My name's Anita Stevens. I live at 4605 Walton Road. I've been out there for about 24 years. I moved to the country because I grew up in the country, and we moved that far out. I drive in and out, commute in and out to Richmond every day. My husband works nights, so he sleeps during the day. We have animals. The noise will be unbearable. I mean, we will have no peace, not one day a week. And I know it's a conditional use permit, but I feel more will be coming as the gun ranges have increased in popularity. I know nighttime shooting, and that would be around the clock for us. I know the proposal's only for the daytime, but it is every day from dawn to dusk in the evening. And I said, we would just have no peace. I mean, it's not even the property value for us. I plan on living here and retiring out here. I moved out to the community because it's a family county. My children, my son went all the way through school out here, and we planned on staying out in the county. But I want the county to respect me as a resident, and please take my concerns as valid, and please look into it and all the concerns that we have as a community. We don't oppose gun range. My husband hunts. He skeet shoots all the time. We would support VSP in the right environment, not in the middle of a residential area where we have to, it's going to change our entire life, our entire being. There are nurses. My husband's not the only one in the area that works nights and has to sleep during the day. There's no way. I mean, we live right next to Alejandro. We would not have any peace whatsoever. We would hear this day and night. I mean, we hear gunshots in the county, so we know what it's like, but it's not constant. It's not from dusk to dawn. I mean, from dawn to dusk. There is some, serenity out there where we're at. I just hope that you'll take our concerns to heart and understand, put yourself in our situation, where we're going with this, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, seeing none, I'll go ahead and close the citizen comment period. Now we move on to public hearings.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Just wanted to let you know that Paul Bush was an application CU 2025, has withdrawn his application. There is no action that is necessary from the board, but I did want to let you know that it was withdrawn.
Thank you.
Good evening. Chair Christie, Vice Chair Spoonhauer, members of the board. For the record, my name is Jamie Sherry. I'm Director of Planning and Zoning. I'd like to begin by congratulating both of you on the election, and I look forward to working with both of you this upcoming year. So this is a conditional use permit, case CU 2025-00007. This is an application by Rogel and Marta Venson. The request is for an unhosted short-term rental located at 4700 Fleming Road in District 1. The vicinity map on the left identifies the property's location in the northwestern portion of the county. shown within the red circle. The aerial photo on the right outlines the subject property in red, providing a closer view of the site. The black line shown on the map represents the county boundary between Goochland and Louisa counties. The zoning map on the left shows the subject property zoned agricultural general, or A1. The adjacent properties within Goochland County are also zoned A1. The adjacent property located in Louisa County is zoned for a combination of agricultural and residential uses under the Louisa County zoning ordinance. The 2035 comprehensive map on the right designates the subject property as rural enhancement area, consistent with the surrounding properties within Goochland County. Across the county line, the Louisa County Comprehensive Plan designates the adjacent properties for residential uses. The applicants are requesting approval of a conditional use permit to operate an unhosted short-term rental. Unhosted short-term rental means a portion of or the entire dwelling is rented for stays of fewer than 30 consecutive days, and the owner is not present during the rental period. Occupancy is limited by the number of occupants allowed by the septic system permit, but cannot exceed 10. A community meeting was held on August 11, 2025 at the subject property. Four citizens attended, 2 of whom expressed opposition. Concerns raised included traffic on Fleming Road, road maintenance, and the behavior of guests on the rental property. The subject property consists of 30 acres located at the end of Fleming Road. Approximately 15 acres are open land, reflecting prior agricultural uses. The property includes a single-family dwelling of approximately 1,500 square feet, accessory structures, and an in-ground pool. The applicants do not reside on the property but use it for recreational purposes. Fleming Road serves 39 lots and is partially public and partially private. Approximately 1/4 mile is public, with the remaining being private and terminating at the subject property. Road widths vary, and portions of the road narrow near the applicant's property. The road does not meet current county code standards for roads. If Fleming Road were constructed today to serve 39 lots, it would be required to meet public road standards and be eligible for VDOT acceptance. However, current code only requires road improvements under specific circumstances, such as new access points, significant expansions, or substantial increases in traffic. This application does not meet any of those thresholds, so no road improvements are required. The applicants are not participants in the existing road maintenance agreement. When the Shannon Hill subdivision was created, the subject property was given access to the road without the responsibility of maintenance. Because the proposed use is considered residential in nature, there is no change in use or trip generation, so there was no traffic analysis required for this application. The applicants had previously operated a short-term rental without a permit. Once they became aware that a conditional use permit was required, they ceased booking reservations. Approval of this permit would allow the use to resume in compliance with the county code and the conditions imposed by the board. The property is designated Rural Enhancement Area in the 2035 Comprehensive Plan. This designation supports low-density residential and rural uses that maintain open space and minimize impacts. With the proposed conditions, staff finds the request consistent with the comprehensive plan. The Planning Commission held a public hearing on November 20, 2025. 1 citizen spoke in opposition, and submitted a petition signed by 13 neighbors. Concerns included speeding, noise, ATV and dirt bike use, underage drinking, and general neighborhood impacts. After the public hearing and much discussion, the Planning Commission recommended approval of this application with a 5-0 vote as amended. The amendments include 1 hour reduction in music, outdoor music, 10 p.m. instead of 11 p.m., 1 year approval period rather than the standard 5 years, a cap of 12 short-term rental reservations per calendar year, and a prohibition on guest use of ATV and dirt bikes on the property. The Planning Commission recommended the following conditions. I will go through each of the conditions and point out the changes to the standard conditions for an unhosted short-term rental. Conditions 1 and 2 are standard conditions, citing that the property may operate as an unhosted short-term rental. Overnight occupancy is limited to 6 people based on the existing septic system. If the septic system is upgraded, the occupancy may increase, but it may not exceed 10, whichever is less. Excuse me. Conditions 3 and 4 are also standard conditions, stating that structures used for short-term rental must have working carbon monoxide detectors and smoke detectors, and emergency access vehicles must be able to get onto the property. Condition 5 is related to sound and general property controls. Amplified music, including music or speech, is prohibited outdoors. In addition, outdoor music must end by 10 p.m., which represents a reduction from the standard conditions of 11 p.m. Conditions 6 and 7 are standard, requiring the posting and maintenance of no trespassing signs on all property boundaries, and for the property to maintain a residential appearance, and the restriction of firearms on the property. Condition number 9 outlines the guest notice requirements associated with the proposed conditions. All guests must be informed in writing of the permit requirements, including the maximum overnight occupancy, sound restrictions to reflect the 1 hour reduction in outdoor music, no trespassing requirements, the prohibition on hunting and discharging of firearms on the property. This condition is intended to ensure that guests are aware and comply with the limits on the property. Condition 10 states the conditional use permit will expire at the end of January 2027. That's 1 year, rather than the standard 5 years term associated with the standard conditions. Condition 11 is a standard condition requiring any transfer or long-term lease of the property be required to notify the county, and that the disclosure of the permit conditions are made to the new owner or leasee. Conditions number 12 and 13 are conditions imposed in addition to the standard conditions. Condition number 12 limits the short-term rental to no more than 12 reservations per calendar year, which is an added restriction beyond the standard condition. Standard condition imposes no limits on reservations per year. Condition number 12 addresses the limitation on the number of short-term rentals to be 12. Oh, yeah, I just told you that, excuse me. The condition number 13 prohibits guests from operating all-terrain vehicles and dirt bikes on the property. So to recap, the Planning Commission is recommending approval of this application with a 5-0 vote with the following amendments to the standard conditions. The 1 hour reduction in music from 10 p.m. Instead of 11 p.m., a 1 year approval period rather than the standard 5 years, a cap of 12 short-term rental reservations per calendar year, and a prohibition of guests using ATVs or dirt bikes on the property. That concludes staff presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions from the board, and the applicant is in attendance.
Board members, do you guys have any questions? You do?
Just, Ms. Sherry, on slide 9, you said, oh, Pshaw, I forgot the name of the road. It's private and public?
Yes, sir.
And I was just doing math. It said .25 is public and .25 is private.
Oh, did I say that, or is it said that on the, it's actually .25 is public, the rest is a mile, and that would be a mile, approximately a mile that is private. I apologize.
The rest of the road.
My apologies.
No worries. And then I did talk with Mr. Dean on the Planning Commission.
Mhm.
And what is the logic for the 1-year conditional use as opposed to what is termed the standard 5-year?
So it's my understanding, and again, I have talked to the planning commissioners, immediately after about the conditions. But during the public hearing, I believe that the planning commission intended to allow the use, but to give it kind of a trial period so that, what if they approved it for the 5 years and it was in fact impactful, that it was only a year rather than the 5. That's my understanding. I think that was basically stated at the public hearing.
Okay, so, all right, I think you answered it. Thank you.
Well, that leads me to a follow-up question. Has it, in the last 5 years, has the planning commission put that restriction on any other unhosted rentals?
No, sir.
Thank you.
I have a follow-up to that as well. How many one-year CUPs exist in the county or have existed?
There have been a handful. I am familiar with one. I know there may be more than one, but Bandage Ridge is an example where I believe it was only like a 9-month approval. And then they came back and then were allowed the regular 5 years.
Let me just add to that, they sued the county for the 9-month approval in circuit court.
And there was that.
All right. That's it for me. Mr. Waters?
Yeah. Ms. Sherry, can you tell me, how were the applicants notified of being,
That they were not in compliance.
unpermitted?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Mr. Benson and his wife actually have a unhosted short-term rental, on Songbird Lane. And when they were notified, because they were going through some other processes and we found out about it, I think that was through their conditional use permit that they had for their home business. We notified them at that point, and so they came through with having that approved, and then they knew that this one was not in compliance, so they applied
So
at
it
that point.
was they were forthright, they
Absolutely.
were understanding that they were not in compliance. Okay, and then my follow-up would be, if we do, how much time of staff would be required of a renewal, given what's proposed being such a short amount of time for the CUP? Is it something more perfunctory, assuming we don't see anything, any significant material issues, or are we going to be talking about hours and hours of staff time, not to mention public presentation, things like that, for this renewal?
Well, assuming that it would be a smooth renewal and pre-application process, the pre-application process at minimum requires probably 5 meetings with staff at minimum. There's the community meeting, then when we have a public hearing, we do notify the community and do mailings and stuff along those lines. That's assuming that there is no impact, so a couple hours, 10 hours maybe at minimum.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
I think I know the answer, because they had a 13-person petition that was signed, but why did the Planning Commission impose this short-term restriction on it? What was the reasoning behind it? What made them compel them to feel like they should do that?
Well, I can't speak exactly for, what was going through their minds when they made that recommendation. I do know that there was a lot of discussion by that one citizen. There was the petition, but those individuals were not here, so we don't know if, what their further thoughts were. There was discussion about noise, about the ATVs, which they addressed, and I think just general activity on the property that the neighbors were concerned with. And so I can only assume in my conversation with them that it was, as I stated to Mr. Lyle, that it was sort of a, okay, you have a chance to prove that this is going to be an appropriate use.
Is it safe to assume that there's a history of that sort of thing, or that this is anticipatory?
It would, well, I mean, we can only go with what the one citizen stated, but probably anticipatory.
Yeah, Mr. Winfrey, it's our understanding that no records from law enforcement or any other sort of reports that are a record of any sort of behavior that would be concerning. That's my understanding, yes, sir.
That's correct.
Oh, thank you, Jamie.
Yeah, of course.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Rogel Venson. I live in 371 Songbird Lane. I'm very proud to be in Goochland County. I love this county. I've been here for a long time. And I want to say that the road that I'm not even supposed to pay for, I do help. I put gravel on the road. I help to fix the road. I just want to clear that. The last meeting we have here, I talked to my neighbor. I came to him and see what the issue was. He complains about people speeding. I don't know who those people are, and there's nothing I can do about it. But I do want to say that once we left here that day, I came to him and I see what your issue and what can I do to to improve. That place I love it, is in the middle of 30 acres. My grandkids, my wife and I, we enjoy it on the weekends. It has a pool on it, and it's quiet, it's beautiful. And the way, and I feel if I rent an Airbnb, I have the time to enjoy it as well without, long term. And sometimes people do destroy if you leave, people there long. So, that's it. And I guess if you guys have any more questions?
Not right now.
Oh, one more thing, I'm sorry. Can I get 5 years, please?
We'll consider.
Thank you, sir.
What's that?
Well, I do have a question,
go ahead.
so we don't maybe have to call you up later. What are your thoughts about the restrictions regarding 12 rentals per year?
I wish it was more. But if I can get more, it would be better.
Do you have a number? Because we don't propose any now, correct? Sorry, Ms. Sherry. It's not
You are correct. The standard conditions do not have that as one of the conditions. It's unlimited.
Thank you, Ms. Sherry. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions for the applicant board? All right.
So this is on 30 acres, and you have your personal residence on there as well?
No, sir. I live actually on Songbird Lane.
Okay, all right, okay, you did say that. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
this is 30 acres.
And the house is like in the middle of the 30 acres, so I'm not bothering anybody. I'm far from everything.
And is it in the western part of the county? So we're saying you can't run an ATV on there, and we're saying you can't hunt on it.
If I could just clarify, that would be for the people who are renting the property. It would only be for the CUP activity. Mr. Venson and his family and friends could do that by right on their personal time.
And if I can add one more thing, is no party allowed. I don't allow anybody to go there, drink, party, or do any crazy things either.
Any other comments or questions, board members? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, I'll now open up citizen comment for this application. Same rules apply as before. Seeing none, I will close the citizen comment period. All right, board members, do I have a motion?
Could we discuss first, because I think the motion may
I think
change
that's,
from that.
yeah,
Is that all right,
I
Mr.
think
Chair?
that's appropriate. Go ahead.
I'm happy to
Mr.
kick us
Spoonhour.
off. So I appreciate what the Planning Commission's trying to satisfy the folks that showed up and understand the concerns. If I look at this, and I'm not going to ask Ms. Sherry to come to the microphone and ask her questions I know the answer to. I'll save that for Mr. Peterson. But today, if Mr. Benson moved into his house, he could ride ATVs. Today, he could shoot his guns. Today, he could add outside music as long as it doesn't reach the level of nuisance. So to me, by putting some unhosted conditions on this, he's actually making the property more restricted. So my preference, and if you look at I wrote it down, but the average trips for a home per day is about 9.5, based on the Transportation Institute. So it's 9.5 trips that potentially wouldn't be happening because it's not a full-time residence. So I think that lessens the issues on the road. Subsequently, and while I know that we are supposed to legally take into account just the use of the land, I've gotten to know Mr. Benson, not personally, never spoken to him personally, but through cases with Songbird and understanding he's got an upstanding business in the community, but I do think that speaks to the character of what is going to be done there. And from my limited interactions through some very tense situations, his character has been nothing but exemplary. So I feel like the neighbors have very little to worry about. And I don't feel, and while I do understand, Ms. McGee won't correct me, that there are no precedents set. There are some standards, and I don't see anything to handcuff this gentleman and this business opportunity. And I love folks to go out and see the great things in District 1. So I would like to see if a motion would be made that would have the normal 5-year CUP and unlimited as per our standard, but that's just my opinion.
Just, Mr. Chair, just one clarification to you, Mr. Spoonhour. I agree with you on those 2 points. The third, I agree with you for the landowner themselves. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. I am, if there is a restriction in place, I'm fine with renters not being allowed to hunt or use ATVs. Okay, we're on the same page there. I just wanted to make sure of that. And
well, which does make it hard to police, actually, because you don't, if you hear shot, you don't know if it's, so we've run into that in some of the cases that we've had recently as well. But yeah.
I would also add that I'm glad Mr. Spoonhour brought up precedent. We've got to focus on that, but even more so than, are we treating all of the short-term rentals fairly across the county? What resources are being consumed by our staff, of our staff, and when we have to go back and do processes like this? No, I would understand if Mr. Benson had a history of acting in negatively, or if there were just larger red flags on this. But while I understand where the Planning Commission was going with a trial period, I do not like the precedent it sets by saying, come back in a year and potentially consume up to 10 plus hours of our staff's time to get questions answered that we can answer right now. I mean, we do have the citizen's reputation. We have other things that can allow us to make a sound judgment as a board. So I just thank you for your comments, Mr. Spoonhour, and I just wanted to add those.
Mr. Chairman, may I offer just some information that the board may find helpful? Page 198 of your packet shows the 4 changes made by the Planning Commission. So if you wanted to review what was added or changed, it's right there on packet page 198, and there's only 4 of them. And so if someone is looking to make a motion that might go back to some of those things, that gives you a place to look and to consider.
So
Sorry
we are
to-
considering all 4 of what the planning commission said, not what the original application said.
Right, but on page 198,
Right, no-
yeah, it shows the strike
But
through.
I'm asking for clarification. So we're not being asked, what's in front of us now is from the planning commission, not from the applicant?
Correct.
Okay.
The actual resolution on page 198 is the planning commission. So if you wanted to know, hey, what did it look like before they started monkeying with it? It's page 198, which is.
Is that the legal term?
It is, yeah,
It's legal,
technical.
okay.
Maybe it's raccoon with it now, after Ashland. In any event, just a place that might help you as you're considering what you might do tonight.
Thank you, Ms. McGee. While my fellow board members review that information, I would just like to say that I'm not a fan of putting burden on a homeowner or a property owner, or putting them in a probationary status based off of literally nothing. I think we would have to have burden of proof before we could do that. And on that note, I'm not a fan of approving things that don't meet the merit. So cases either meet a merit or they don't, and it should be standard. So if we have a 5-year standard, that should be the standard. And as you noted, unlimited as well. With that said, I'm ready to make a motion unless there's
I
further
want to
discussion.
add to you and reinforce what you just said, because there are remedies available to citizens who are subject to abuses and so forth. As we mentioned, there've been no police reports, there's no violation of law, no, that sort of thing. So going forward, we have to have faith that if there is something wrong, and we do have curative measures that can be taken to bring these people in line who are abusive. So to try to anticipate everybody abusing things ahead of time, is like putting the cart before the horse, so to speak.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
If I'm making any sense.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vinson had an application in for a short-term rental in District 5 maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and he withdrew that application because of his interaction with his neighbors in that neighborhood. They expressed concern, and he responded to those concerns and decided, as a good neighbor, as a good citizen, he was not going to pursue that as a short-term rental. I think he turned it into a long-term rental opportunity. So if I can pile on to his positioning and concern for neighbors and the community, he's not just talked the talk, he's actually implemented that. So I'm in concurrence that we're overcomplicating something. Either we've got a short-term rental process that seems to be working and has been observed. If there's violation, we have channels to pursue. So I have spoken with Martin Dean, who is on the Planning Commission, and he expressed concern. And I guess he looked for the new guy card to be played, where this was something he was experiencing for the first time, but he expressed discomfort for these restrictions being added as they were. So I'm hopeful that there will be a motion that will remove some of the additional restrictions that the Planning Commission imposed, and that we follow process as we would with any other short-term rental application, CUP. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other discussion? All right, I'm ready to entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that the board grant conditional use permit 2025-0007, application by Rogel and Marta Venson, subject to the imposed condition, the following amendments. Amending item number 5, 5B, that there should be no outdoor music, changing from 10 p.m. back to 11 p.m. Item 9B, from the same time, 10 p.m. back to the original 11 p.m. that the CUP would expire in 2031, which is 5 years, and that item number 12, number of reservations would go from 12 to the unlimited, as is our policy.
Second. All right, Dr. Rayleigh, roll call vote.
Okay, Mr. Lyle?
Yay.
Mr. Spoonhour?
Yes.
Mr. Waters?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
And Mr. Christie?
Yes.
Ms. McDonald?
Forward, back.
Thanks.
Pointer.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, Board, I'm Elizabeth McDonald, Director of Public Utilities, and I'm here tonight to present the public hearing for amendment to Ordinance Chapter 14, Article 5, Section 251, Part A1, to add the parcel located at 350 Hamlet Road to the Tuckahoe Creek Service District. To provide you all with some history, the TCSD was created in 2002 to provide a mechanism for payment of debt service taken to construct water and sewer infrastructure in the county's east end. The infrastructure ultimately provided public water and sewer services to the parcels located within the district. Currently, there are just over 2,500 parcels in the TCSD, and since its creation in 2002, numerous parcels have entered the TCSD and a small number have exited. There is a formal application process to do either of those activities, and the ordinance amendment is required to do so. An application was submitted on September 16th by Scott Gazer on behalf of the property owners. The application consists of one parcel, parcel number 58-8-0-2-A, which is owned by Vijay Baira and Ujwala Thotakura. The parcel is zoned A2 and consists of one residential dwelling. The existing septic system is failing, which is why the property owners would like to join the TCSD and connect to public sewer services. The property owners do not intend to connect to public water at this time. Here is a map highlighting the parcel being discussed. You can see it is just northwest of the Hockett Road and Tuckahoe Creek Parkway intersection. This addition would not change the overall boundaries of the TCSD. It is merely adding a parcel that is already within the boundary that was not previously included. The purple shading are parcels that are already part of the TCSD. The proposed code change will be to Chapter 14, Article 5, Section 14-251A1, and will include the addition of parcel 58-8-0-2-A to the listing of parcels included in the ordinance. Parcels are listed in numerical order within the ordinance. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have on this proposed ordinance amendment, and the applicant who is representing the property owners is also here.
Board members, any questions?
Just one, Mr. Chairman. When a parcel comes into the district, is there a, I don't want to call it a clawback, but is there, you go back 5 years and calculate?
For a new parcel entering the TCSD, when they pay their connection fee, there is an additional 20% surcharge on that fee.
All right, but
And-
no back
Correct.
assessment of TCSD ad valorem?
No.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I thought that was the case, but I'd like to be sure.
Any other-
Chairman,
go ahead.
did I miss why?
Their
Is it-
septic tank.
Septic is failing?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Any other comment? I was going to make a motion.
All right, thank you, Ms. McDonald.
Yep.
Ready to entertain any motions? Oh, wait. Would the applicant like to speak? No? Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Mr. Chair?
We-
Yeah, we open the public hearing.
Public comment.
All right, so I'll now open public hearing for this application. And seeing none, I will go ahead and close it. All right, Mr. Waters, I'm now ready to entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that the board adopt this ordinance to amend County Code Section 14-251 to add this tax parcel into the Tuckahoe Creek Service District.
Do I have a second?
Oh, second?
All right, Dr. Rayleigh, roll call vote?
Mr. Lyle?
Yay.
Mr. Spoonhour?
Yes.
Mr. Waters?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Christie?
Yes.
Board members, the last item on your agenda this evening is an ordinance change to 2 chapters in the Goochland County Code. The changes come about solely due to recent changes in titles of employee positions here in Goochland County. The county code, for instance, for many years has referred to a county engineer under utilities, even when those actions were being undertaken by the Director of Department of Utilities. We now have a county engineer position who is not operating the utilities department, so it's a good time for us to change all of Chapter 14 to remove county engineer and make it refer to the Department of Director, the Director of the Department of Utilities. Similarly, we no longer have a position entitled the Director of Community Development, but that title is used in the environmental chapter for some things that actually are being done by the county engineer today. And so we've gone through and made the revision to those references in the code of for the environmental sections. No substantive changes were made to either of these chapters. It's merely replacement of the titles. That's what's before you for consideration this evening.
Ms. McGee, does the public get input on?
Yes, sir. There's a
Okay.
public hearing.
Just
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
thank you for clarifying. All right, board members, is there any questions for Ms. McGee? All right, I'll now open citizen comment for this ordinance change. Seeing none, I will go ahead and close the citizen comment. All right, board members, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I move that the board adopt the proposed ordinance amendment relating to the position title changes.
Second.
All right, I've got a motion and a second. Dr. Rayleigh?
Mr. Lyle?
Yay.
Mr. Spoonhour?
Yes.
Mr. Waters?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
And Mr. Christie?
Yes. All right. So now we will adjourn this meeting, and we will reconvene on January 2026 at 6 p.m. for the BOS Work Session Conference Room 270. The meeting is open to the public. Thank you, everyone.
Woohoo!